How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jeff, aka Somar on the PlayStation Network, and I'm with Kyle once again.
Hey, what up, boys?
Let me rephrase that. It's Santa Claus, actually, except with a shorter beard and much younger. He looks like a young Tim Allen.
Ho ho, motherfuckers.
Actually, you're a lot skinnier than Tim Allen. You also don't do the do. Shout out to the home improvement fans out there. Anyway, so we are here to talk about the PlayStation E3 conference. Like we said in the Xbox episode, this is going up late because of some malfunctions we had, but it's for the best. We got some time to think about things a little bit more and kind of reflect a little bit more, so we might have some better analyses to give, or I guess better subjective.
We're smarter.
Whatever, it is what it is. Fuck you, pay me. Anyway, let's get right into this bitch. So, that orchestra.
That opera house, though. Holy, I didn't even know. By the way, this is my first E3 that I've actually ever watched.
Sat down and watched?
Yeah, this is my first E3 that I've actually sat down and watched. Yeah.
I could have sworn me and you watched like Nintendo's
once. No, I maybe like watched like a few little bit of stuff, but nothing else. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. Because me and you watched like a bit of Ubisoft and like here and there, but we would like come back up your place and then come back down. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, okay. I would I never really watched. Yeah, and I didn't know that they went into an opera house and filled a huge
journalists
opera house.
And fans and everything. Yeah, they've gone there for a while. They haven't been there for a few years though.
An actual live orchestra.
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, we got some really burly men that can sing really low.
Yeah,
and so I wonder where this is going. And then we get this little,
it's like weird,
this little in frame, yeah.
This
and
woman starts like shrieking, kind of singing, and it's really
odd. It was kind of odd.
It was cool though, but odd.
Yeah.
From my viewpoint, because Kyle's not as big of a PlayStation nerd as I am, because I'm a nerd in general, but PlayStation I freak the fuck out about. I like follow everything they do. Like oh God, what do? I
masturbate about it?
Sure, but I mean, that's a given for any fanboy. I'm not a fan. Well, I am a fanboy, but I'm not a dickhead. I love Xbox and Nintendo with all my heart. And even PlayStation, I give shit to each one individually for various reasons. But I follow PlayStation, I follow the shout out to PS I Love You, the podcast. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. Because
great movie.
PS I Love You.
Yeah, what a great movie. Isn't Gerard Butler in that?
He is. I'm talking about the podcast and not the movie. The podcast is specifically about PlayStation. It's got Mr. Colin Moriarty and Mr. Greg Miller from Beyond, from IGN, way back when. I think they're even better than they were on there, personally, because they still are some of the most knowledgeable of PlayStation shit. So I listen to them all the time.
Anyway,
that being said, sitting there listening to this orchestra, I first thought, oh, it might be Horizon.
Yeah, because then you get this... All of a sudden, this little movie comes up, or like pretty much a game, and you see this little child out there playing with these little sticks or something there around a tree, and it's all snowy.
Yeah, it looked like Horizon.
Yeah, it's like
the clothing kind of matched. And
this might be her when she's like younger or something like
that.
Well,
I didn't think that. I just thought it might have been like her little brother. Or
this
something.
might be her little brother.
Okay, cool. It's they're showing off her family, even though I thought she was an orphan. That
might not be her.
I don't know what's going on, but this is cool.
So, and then we're just chilling, and then you just hear this, like, real deep voice coming from the house.
I hear a really familiar voice.
And it says just one 3-letter word.
Come here, boy.
Just,
boy.
And
from backstory for me, I'm one of the biggest God of War nuts in the world. I'm one of the few people that'll say, I love Kratos. I'm that weird nutbag. You may continue.
Yeah, and it's just, of course, I've seen God of War before, but I've never actually, like, really sat down and played it. And, so I have no idea what's going on. And so the little boy just trots on in there, and I'm just staring at, like, the little boy's face, because he has, like, this big-ass scar or something.
Meanwhile, I'm
like, what is going on?
Kyle's getting text message from me freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. It's like, well, no wonder he has this big-ass scar on his face, because his father is a god, and probably, like, makes him fight bears and shit out in the wild. But yeah, and he walks out and everyone just flips out.
Yep.
The whole audience just goes crazy.
Motherfucking Kratos.
And so, and then the whole gameplay was just really cool. The axe was so awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. And how it just like came right at him.
I still rewatch it. I've rewatched it
It's
several
sick.
times before. So,
Absolutely sick.
from a God of War fan perspective,
And it was a live,
it was live orchestra the entire night.
And also,
The entire night.
I never knew.
The music during was
I
live.
never knew that it was live gameplay for
Yeah.
a while. I was like, oh, there's a dude playing.
Most of the games that were
he's
actually
playing the game.
Yeah, most of the games that were shown off in terms of demos were all live.
God, that would
live
take so
played.
much practice. For me, it would take, I know I would have to practice so much.
Most of the time, it's the QA testers or the actual developers themselves playing it. Usually.
Oh my gosh,
usually.
it takes so much practice.
Well, I would hope they would be practiced because they fucking made the game and probably play it day in, day out for a living.
But anyway, it was absolutely
For me,
gorgeous and
yeah. One of the first things you notice is how beautiful the game is. Besides the fact that obviously, yes, it is taking place in Norse mythology with Vikings and I forget where exactly it's taking place. It starts with an S. I forget the name of it right now.
Sweden?
No, it's not Sweden, but it's like
Switzerland.
no, but it's it's gonna bug me. It's like SV.
Svedka?
Svedka.
Svedka, Russia?
Voted best vodka in 2076. How do you know that? Are you time travelers? Because you're full of shit, I bet. But no, the visuals were amazing, the sound and the music, and the orchestra that's playing is actually the orchestra that played for the
game.
The game, and that everything they played that night and everything they're going to
is in the game.
All of it was in the game, and they also play a lot of the music on other games too, and that's just stupid. It's just stupid, but oh my god, I still can't get over the fact of the entire time beforehand I was wondering, when the music was playing, first thought came in my head was, okay, it might be Horizon, but then the girl started shrieking and stuff, so I thought maybe, just maybe, I was like, oh, The Last Guardian might be the game that's being shown off. And for whatever reason, for a split hair second, I thought that, because I was like, maybe this is a really dark moment, and this is going to be like, for whatever reason, they're giving The Last Guardian this big thematic entrance, and then they're gonna, for whatever reason, release that night, or a month from now. It's gonna have a really quick release. All this happened within a couple of seconds, and then the music kept going. I went, no, that's fucking stupid, Jeff. That makes no sense. This music doesn't fit with anything that is an Ico or Shadow of the Colossus. None of that music is this. And I'm assuming a lot of that music is going to be similar to what music is going to be in The Last Guardian. It can only be, and it kept ramping up this entire time, and I went, God of War. Are you fucking kidding me? The first game of the PlayStation goddamn conference of 2016. The headlining game for possibly the end of 2017 or maybe 2018, whichever one, whenever it eventually comes out, it's going to be God of War. Holy fuck. I'm losing my mind because I haven't played a God of War game technically, or there hasn't been a God of War game since the end of the PlayStation 3, back in 2012. So I'm losing it, jerking off at the same time. And then Kratos comes out, and I just, my god, guys. It was just a good moment.
It was a great opening. It really was a great.
But
really
there's more
good
to it
opening.
than that, too, because, not to ramble on and on about God of War, I can't help it because I do love it so much, but I will finish my thought on it. If you notice during the gameplay, there are moments where your son will gain knowledge, whether it's through finding new areas, or helping hunt the deer, or tracking the deer, or combat. Your son learns, and as he learns, he becomes a better combatant with you. It's almost like, a good example in my mind after watching the gameplay so many times is, think of the Joel and Ellie relationship in The Last of Us, but Ellie actively learns throughout it in a way that you get told that they're learning, but also you just see slowly grow. Ellie kind of slowly grows, but she grows through the periods of the game, not progressively through the game. She gets better through the chunks. She gets better from the fall to the winter, and then from winter to the spring, and summer to the fall. But that's why that was one of the things I really noticed. This game is going to have a lot of RPG elements. And I fucking lost. I was like, that is fucking amazing. God of War is taking a new and beautiful direction, and I love it.
Yeah.
And really, the last closing thought I have is really when the conference pretty much got done and everything, they announced afterwards, like, oh, the game from start to finish is never going to have a black screen. Meaning, all the cutscenes and all the gameplay and the cutscenes are going to roll right into one another. There's never going to be a black screen or anything. It's just one start to finish. It's like a movie. And I lost that. I was like, are you kidding me? They're doing that? That's a thing that you can do. Oh, okay. Way to basically give the middle finger to Naughty Dog and be like, yeah, we're back, bitch. We're taking our fucking mantle back. You had Uncharted. We gave you that. We did God of War and then we let you take over with Uncharted 2. You can have that, but we're coming back, motherfuckers, and I fucking love it. I'm done with my rant.
Feels good?
I could go on, but I'm going to be done because we have more shit to talk about, so...
We do. And that being another zombie game. Another one.
The infamous Sony Bend game. I know you don't know this. I actually haven't talked to you much about this. For background for all of you, Sony Bend was the maker of the Uncharted game on the Vita, right? And they also used to make Siphon Filter back in the day. Fucking love those games. They actually were making, at one point, a sequel to the Uncharted Vita game. That got canceled because Naughty Dog didn't want oversaturation of the Uncharted brand. Which makes sense, but sucks because the Vita didn't get another Uncharted. And it basically was like a big fuck you to like a year's worth of work for Sony Bend. And then they like tried to start working on like an Infamous game for the Vita. Like they were doing a bunch of different Vita games and none of them got picked up off of the ground. Like they went through like 3 or 4 Vita games. This current project they had supposedly only been working on for a little over a year, if not close to 2 years, maybe. So it's still about a year away, if not a little bit more. So I expect it, or it's probably going to come out next year, but there's a chance it could slip into the following year. But supposedly it's going to probably come in 2017 as far as everything seems to be going. But that's kind of the tortured history of Sony Bend. So this game, through all of that, is looking really good. Like, really good to me. I want to know your opinion before I ramble on again, because
the gameplay looks really cool. I mean, the zombies don't really look like zombies.
Well, and that's the thing. They actually aren't zombies.
They're like infected or something.
Yeah, it's supposedly
kind of like Last of Us.
Yeah, they're like infected, but they're called freakers, and they
freakers.
Eat, yeah, they eat, they drink, they sleep. They're just like people, but they're mutated and they're crazy. They're kind of like the monsters from I Am Human or I Am Legend. They're kind of the same thing. They're kind of the same thing where it has like a horde mentality. It takes like the World War Z mixed with I Am Legend, from what I'm taking away from what I've seen and heard, which I really dig. I'm like, that is really cool. And another thing that wasn't shown off in the gameplay is supposedly in that mission that we saw in the gameplay, you can actually actively set traps during the day when they're all sleeping around the area so that you can run through it and they'll activate the traps, because supposedly there's like a horde meter that shows how many of them there are. And you can whittle them down over time.
And dude,
yeah, there's a lot.
That horde in the motherfucking gameplay trailer.
And
holy
I remember someone
shit.
pointed out, they're like, how come there's so many zombies? Like, that seems kind of ridiculous. I'm like, well, A, they've already said like 95 or 98% of the population is these creatures now. So like, there's only a small amount of people left in the world. So of course, the majority of the what is it now? 6 billion, 8 billion total human beings on the planet Earth right now.
Quite a few,
something like that. I mean that. Yeah, there's gonna be a few freakers here and there they got to deal with. And another thing someone pointed out was the infinite ammo thing. Like how you just kept shooting and reloading, shooting and reloading. Supposedly, over time, because that is really late into the game, you get the ability to obviously carry more ammunition, and you're geared up a lot more, so you can hold a lot more ammunition, have a lot more ammunition, have that gun, stuff like that. But, and I do, that kind of rolls into one of my criticisms of that gameplay, but I will say that the physics of the freakers dying to like each like dying to like 1 or 2 bullets and just toppling over and then running over one another.
That's so cool.
And the like ragdoll physics and everything. Oh, it was just so cool. And then like the breakable environment, the fire physics.
It reminded me of World War Z, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And just oh god, it looked really good for what it is. I took it as this is an alpha build, so obviously nothing's perfect. but it looks really good for where it is right now. They talked a little bit about the bike, but I don't know much about what's going on with the bike. But supposedly it is open world. It is quest. It's kind of quest based with side quests and stuff. So it is like kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn in a way, or The Witcher in a way, except you got a bike and stuff, and you can like pick up gear in the environment and like customize your shit with it. Like when he took the oil gauge out of the truck and applied it as a silencer and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of cool shit like that. That I was like, that's really freaking awesome. But my biggest caveat is one of them is I wonder how they're going to make it so that we know what's breakable and what's not in terms of the environment. You know? Like, that's one thing I wonder about. Another thing that I wonder about is the upgrading scheme, which we're probably going to learn about more next year. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I had to wait a year to figure out how all this shit in Horizon works in terms of their HUD system and customization and equipment and all that bullshit. So I can wait a year because I'll have Horizon to toy with and jerk off in about 6 months. But the last thing that really kind of made me a little worried, personally, it was why they chose this section, because the best way to show, I think, a game like this is to probably do it more towards like the beginning, and not necessarily like right off the bat beginning, but more like middle, early, so that you're not like overpowered, but you're well off enough to where you probably won't die. You can show off more of like the tenseness of it. It's kind of like, remember when The Last of Us I don't know if you ever saw a beginning bit of The Last of Us, but The Last of Us when it was first showed off an area back in the Pittsburgh area when it was first shown off, and that's an early fucking area in The Last of Us. So I kind of wanted the Days Gone to do the same thing, where it shows off the earlier area and shows off maybe a more tense of a situation, because as much as the situation in Days Gone was really tense, I feel like it was one of those things where it could have been more tense given a different sense and a different format, but I don't know. I'm hoping to see more of it at Paris Games and or PlayStation Experience, so we can learn more about it. Because it probably is, in my book, it's probably the game of the show that I wanted more about. Because there was just so much little known that it's eating at me still that I want more of it. Whereas God of War is one of those games where like, fuck yes, game of the show, hands down. Even beats Zelda in my book. That's because the last few Zeldas weren't, I wasn't as crazy about with Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. They're okay, but I didn't really love them. But God of War, this one just, I don't know. Maybe it's nostalgia beating out everything, or my love of God of War, or whatever. But God, that's my game of the show. But yeah, what's next, baby?
Finally. Well, I mean, I have nothing to say because I've just learned about this game like practically a year ago, and you've been waiting for this.
This is for people like me that've been waiting 10 years.
Yeah, you've been waiting for this bitch for such a long time.
When it was supposed to come to the PS3, and then they're like, psych, we're moving this to the PS4, and then we're gonna fucking drop radio silence. That's because Team Ico fell apart. Last Guardian got shown off, and officially has a release date for October.
A date.
It has a date.
Just a date.
October. A little later than I thought. You were actually pretty close to the money when you initially predicted.
Yeah, I just said October 9th or something
in
my
like the
prediction video.
It's the 25th or something like that, but you
I
had
guess
the right
the
month.
I guess the month.
I was guessing August, honestly. I was 2 months off, but yeah, it's date. The new trailer looked really good. It shows off some cool concepts, like there's more than one Trickio. So
yeah, if this game has been put off for so long, this game better be badass.
I think it's going to be good, maybe even great. I doubt it's going to meet the expectation. I think at this point, it's one of those games where people are just going to have to be like, it's going to be good, but I can't let the hype of 10 years get to me on this. You know? I feel like people did that with Duke Nukem. They can't do it with this game. And they should not do that with Final Fantasy X either, because that was like that's going to be like 12 years in the making for that one. So, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Which someone pointed out to me the other day, like, with Final Fantasy 15, they're like, oh no, that game's only been in development for like 5 or 6 years. I'm like, bullshit. You're fucking stupid. You're flat out stupid. I'm calling you stupid. Normally I don't call people stupid for their opinions, but that was a dumb opinion because Because I told the man, I was like, look, Final Fantasy 15 used to be Final Fantasy Versus 13. Like, it's the same game, just, they took the same properties and just changed some stuff and augmented it to next gen and expanded upon it. He was like, no, they just took some small things. I'm like, no, they took the exact game and expanded it. So I hate people like that, but I'm rambling. Sorry. That frustrates me when people are ignorant and being jackasses. So, Last Guardian's being a thing. Hopefully it's good or great. Don't try and buy into the hype of 10 years. Just go in with low expectations. Don't expect the the Shadows of the Colossus, because it will not be Shadow of the Colossus. I guarantee that. But it will be great. Hopefully, it'll be good in the very least of anything. So, and then Horizon got shown off.
Oh, the gameplay was just
looks amazing, which is a duh statement by this point.
It's just so good. And like, I don't know, just like the different ways you can take down an enemy, how you can make any like machine yours,
Certain ones, yeah.
And like,
you get mounts.
Yeah, and like, it's just.
Well, I love the scanning ability that you have now.
Yeah.
You can scan each
and like
thing.
You figure out its weak points. You figure out what it's weak to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You customize and make your own gear. You can craft on the fly. Like, there's a ton of different like weaponry types. There's side quests, which is what was shown off in the gameplay. Pretty much, it was a side quest. We didn't really get a good chance to look at the town, but it looks like the world is pretty fucking big.
Oh yeah.
Like, it looks pretty damn big.
Oh yeah, man.
Combat looks incredibly fun, destructive.
My favorite machines right now are still like the big ass Brontosaurus ones.
Oh, the ones with the long ass necks?
Yeah. And the
ones that just kind of like walk around?
Yeah.
Mine's still the Actually, I don't know. Mine's between the Tyrannosaurus or the bird. The bird ones are kind of cool. And then like all the story details that have been popping up in terms of like the story trailers that were shown looks really, really interesting. This could be it is already the most ambitious, but this could be the coolest and best game Guerrilla Games has ever made. The men that have made Killzone, which are great games, don't get me wrong, this could be their coup de grace. And this could be the beginning of something this could be something fucking gorgeous and beautiful for them. So I'm excited for February. It sucks that it's coming out in February, the same month as Persona. Both of those got moved to February for American release dates, with Persona being like the 15th or something, and then Horizon's the 22nd, 25th, something like that.
I'll take your word for it.
Either way, I'm buying the fuck out of them. I'm even going to go so far, I don't buy limited edition, collector edition kind of things. Like, I usually just get the base model game because I don't go that crazy about them. Sometimes I get like the limited edition game if it's the same price. Like, I did that with Dark Souls because of the pre-order and all that, or Infamous Second Son, same thing. Horizon Zero Dawn, I want that statue. I'm dropping money for that statue.
Legit.
I'm dropping money for that statue because that is a fucking sick statue. I swear to God, God of War better have a statue of Kratos with his son, looking all badass with that beard. Because I'm buying the fuck out of that too. I'm gonna start once I get some money in my pocket. I'm just gonna make a freaking mantle on my wall in my apartment when I get my apartment and just put all these statues up there. So when I bring the girls over, they're like, "What are those?" "Baby, those are my video game statues." "You're weird." You know it. You ready to get some nookie nookie? Hey.
I'm sure they'll fall for it.
I mean, every girl loves a sharp dressed video gamer. Neck beard and all. Yeah. Oh, thank God I don't own a fedora. For those of you that don't get sarcasm, we're being sarcastic anyway. So, segue.
There was some more like.
What else?
These like next few games are kind of like, they were, I don't know, never mind. They were legit. Call of Duty was.
They're a different tier.
Yeah.
Because obviously Days Gone, Last Guardian kind of to an extent, but Days Gone, God of War, Horizon, they're the they're the trinity right now.
Yeah.
Of PlayStation. They're like. But yeah, I don't say Last Guardian because that's coming this year. It's not like off in the distance, and Gran Turismo's kind of the same thing, where it's going to be amazing, but it's pretty close actually. These three are kind of relatively-ish far away. Well, Horizon being the earliest, but what is the next game?
Call of Duty, the Call of Duty gameplay that was there.
Surprisingly, I liked it.
Yeah, honestly, like,
It looked good.
no matter how much shit has been given to them, it looked.
It makes me question why they showed
decent.
this for their launch trailer for like the reveal. You know,
Yeah.
like why did they not show off this gameplay or like just do a gameplay segment of like, look, we know this game's probably gonna look bad in the trailer. Here's gameplay to show off like what this game can be, because at least from my viewpoint, this game seems like it is open-ended, meaning you can pick your missions as you go, and I'm hoping because of that there might be ramifications for not doing certain missions in certain orders. So like one mission might be harder because you did a different mission in this way, or you can pick how you approach the mission maybe, like certain missions. I don't know. If Call of Duty finally gives player options in terms of how you approach missions and really like allows another level of like approaching Call of Duty as a whole, because I think Black Ops 2 is the last one that really allowed players to kind of pick how they enter the world of Call of Duty, because you got to pick what loadout you went in with, and there's multiple endings to the game. So I don't know, to me it looks good. So, but we'll see, because every Call of Duty since Black Ops 2 I've been more and more like, okay, whatever. Like Advanced Warfare was fine, but I was like, okay, it's just doing what Titanfall already did. Ghost was like, whatever. Infinite Warfare, we'll see if it does anything for me. And I like how they're using fucking Call of Duty 4 Remaster as a freaking bargaining chip. Like, well, in case you didn't want, if you're not that crazy about Infinite Warfare, here's something you might actually want. It's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of like...
That's such a fucked up move, but whatever. Business is smart. They're smart businessmen. Fuck them for being smart businessmen. Fuck them. Because they're gonna, you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna do this $100 bundle or $90 bundle where this game comes with it. Then 6 months later, they're like, oh, for those of you that don't have it, here you go for $30 on the PlayStation Network. And like, oh, cool, I can play this now. And everyone that bought that $90, bundle or $100 bundle are like, what? I thought you said that was exclusive to us. Be like, well, yeah, but money, fuck you. It's Activision. What do you expect? They drove Tony Hawk into the ground. They drove so many good games in the ground. Guitar Hero. They just brought that back, but they drove that into the fucking dirt. So they'll eventually do it with Call of Duty. So
yeah.
And what else was showing off?
Another game that I really liked. I was surprised. It was Spider-Man.
Hey, our prediction episode. I said Sucker Punch was gonna be the ones that make it. I was half right. I was predicting. I was like, hey, Sucker Punch might be working on a Spider-Man game. I've been hearing rumors. I was half right.
Honestly, it was pretty legit.
For a game that's in alpha right now, that's probably a little ways away, it looks really good.
It looked really nice. And
it looks really good.
I don't know. I really enjoyed playing the Spider-Man games
Spider-Man
as a kid.
2, oh my god, the PlayStation 2 Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Hell, even Spider-Man for the PlayStation 1. I love that. Even though trying to fight Venom was a pain in the ass. Trying to follow him around that city that was foggy as fuck. And then you had to find that stupid ass freaking sewer drain. God, that sucked. It was a short game though.
Yeah. No, the Spider-Man games are great, and I'm sure.
Yeah, the last couple haven't been as good, but yeah, for the most part, a lot of them have been good. Like
yeah.
I think Edge of Shadows or whatever, Web of Shadows or something. I forget whichever one it was. The first PlayStation 3 one. That one was really good with like Future Spider-Man, Noir Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Amazing. Like that one was actually really really good. I'm still surprised Insomniac's making it. The guys that make Ratchet and Clank and all that, but it's cool to see that it seems like they're teaming up with Sony again. They're back on better feet with Sony, and also Spider-Man's an exclusive, meaning that Sony and Marvel must be striking a deal in terms of making exclusive Marvel gaming now. So that's really, really cool. And it seems like Marvel's doing some really cool stuff with their gaming division now.
I can dig
it, man. I'm excited for a new Spider-Man game. It's been a long time since we had a really good Spider-Man game. Like extremely good Spider-Man game. So hopefully this one pans out. Which I have faith. It's Insomniac. They have done very few bad games. And then the Quantic Dream showed off their new game. a little bit more. Another angle of it.
Yeah, it was really.
Detroit.
I thought it was really interesting. It's like these cyborgs
Mm-hmm.
are like these detectives now.
Well,
that
the
are-
one character, yeah.
Well, yeah, but like people like putting their lives in danger instead of us putting our lives in danger. I guess kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Like replacing human lives with cyborg lives, and
Mhm.
putting those lives in danger.
Yeah, they have androids doing a lot of jobs that would put humans in danger, like being a negotiator, or doing menial jobs like being a
Yeah.
butler or whatever.
So it's like, and like there are so like usually with those games there's so many different outcomes.
Yeah,
And
Beyond Two Souls didn't really
I
have
just-
much. Beyond Two Souls was alright, but didn't have that much.
Yeah.
Heavy Rain had a shit
So
ton.
much.
Oh my god, it was ridiculous how much was in that game. And this is supposed to be like that, but on an even bigger scale. I wonder how many characters are going to be in it. Because so far there's only been 2 showed off. There's the cop that we just saw,
Yeah.
and then there's Kara, who is the reveal for this game that I've shown off. So we'll see how many characters there are. But
Yeah.
it looks really, really cool.
I'm very intrigued about it. And
Because, I mean, I'm assuming there's because they even showed, like, there's, like, 8 different outcomes from just, like, deciding, like, what to do with, like, the evidence.
yeah.
And then there's, like, 8 from, like, doing nothing with evidence, but maybe being able to talk your way through, like, certain different scenarios. Like, it was nuts how many overlaps there were and, like, directions it could
It
go.
reminded me a little bit of iRobot. If you remember that movie with
Kinda.
Will Smith.
Yeah, kind
I
of.
think, like-
Kind of.
And how, but in that movie, shit goes crazy with freaking robots.
Yeah.
And you never know, shit might go crazy with the freaking cyborgs in Detroit, you know?
Well, those are kind of shown off with the red light bulb
Yeah,
with the
we
guy
don't
holding the
know.
little girl hostage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure, and that's something maybe it's one of those things where do these androids start developing actual emotions? Are they starting to feel jealousy now? Certain ones are starting to get emotions, so now they're going haywire, or is it like a virus that's starting to go through them? Like, there's questions, and it seems really, really cool. I'm excited for it. So, we'll see how it goes. So then some VR stuff was shown off.
A lot.
A lot. Well, but surprisingly not as much as I expected. But that's because the show went really quickly. It was like boom, 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 boom. Like there wasn't much downtime.
They got shit done.
Like there was not a lot of downtime. Like Microsoft's conference was fantastic, but it seemed like there were some down moments here and there. PlayStation's, I give them a lot of credit. It was going fast. And there was like little to no hardware stuff. Like even all the VR stuff, I kind of expected, oh, they're going to bring out the VR unit again and do a stage demo. Thank God they didn't. All they did was like announce, oh, VR's coming out actually 2 weeks earlier now. So they moved up the release date of it, which is awesome. That's awesome. I wasn't expecting that. I was confused at first because I remember looking at it, I was like, oh, cool. They re-announced the date of when it's coming out. But then I got an email later that day and they're like, oh, so they changed the date of, or my email was like, oh, the date of your bundle for VR actually got moved from being the first week of November or like the last week of October to 2 weeks earlier. It's like, wait, oh, so they moved the date up for VR. That's actually really awesome. And then they went to a bunch of games, showing off a game called Farpoint, that sci-fi shooter game. From what it looks like, it looks really, really cool, first person, obviously, but it looks amazing, like it's beautiful. And they actually, supposedly they have like a new like gun thing called the PlayStation Aim or whatever, which is like a gun controller with the move, like a move stick at the end that you use for VR, and like the controller, like there's controller buttons and everything all over it, so like that's how you move and stuff. I'm not sure where it's all located. I haven't really seen much of it, but it looks cool. It looks kind of like in the shape of like a gun. And then they showed off a bunch of other VR games, which, they show off a lot of new VR games. They didn't show off Riggs again. They didn't show off a lot of other VR games. But then they showed off a game that's compatible with VR that I think is going to make some people poop. Just a little poopy poop.
A little poopy?
Yeah, probably a little poopy. LS2 might have VR capabilities, but shut up.
And dude, you know I will not be playing that shit.
No, I know you won't.
Oh, you do that all you want. I'll watch.
I want to play it, and I'll have the videos for you to watch later. That'll be on YouTube. Hit up our YouTube channel. Hey, product placement in our own video. But no, Resident Evil 7. got shown off, and supposedly it was, it's gonna run with VR. And they put up a demo right at E3. It's called the Beginning Hour. That has actually, it's gonna be nothing in the actual game. I think what it's supposed to be is just to show you off the mechanics, the engine, and maybe some of the controls and stuff. So I remember when I think in our episode we did of it, I was kind of wondering, I don't know if this game's going to be in first person. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, why would they not do this in first person? Because they've made this demo, obviously, to show off how this would work in first person. So in my mind, I think this is going to be in a first person, Resident Evil 7. Which is cool because maybe this is going to be a whole new direction for the series, which is really refreshing because there hasn't really been a first person Resident Evil game. In terms of just the horror game. It's kind of like PT was going to be kind of a first-person Silent Hill game, which there was only really one other one. It wasn't even like a pure first-person Silent Hill. It was like the room was like half and half, third person and first person. So this direction with horror is really, really interesting. I think Outlast is the one that started it with this whole first-person narrative, and I like that. If you didn't check out what Resident Evil is, check out our video of it. Plug again. But it is pretty scary. It's pretty fucked up.
Oh man.
I'm excited for it. Looks good. Looks really, really good. It looks like they might be learning their lesson from the last couple Resident Evil games. So I know you're not fan, and I know you're not gonna talk about it, so
yeah, I'm not. Because I scream like a little bitch in it, so
to be fair, the one moment that scared you the most scared me pretty bad too. So
yeah.
it made me jump. But on lighter news, something to make Kyle a little happier.
Yeah, man, dude. I really like it. A game probably many people have played out there.
Oh,
many people.
A lot of nostalgia.
Extremely popular game.
A lot of nostalgia for PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 fans, and kind of PlayStation 2 fans. That Crash Bandicoot, though.
Yeah, that announcement was really
Sean Layton, I kind of half expected him to be such a troll. Because he did that last year with the t-shirt and everything. So I was expecting him to just come out and be like, yeah, we're going to do just Skylander stuff. I would have been like, you fucking asshole. And Grant, there is Skylander stuff, but really it's the principle of just Skylander stuff. That would have been fucking like, alright, fuck you. But no.
We're bringing
Crash Bandicoot
back
1, 2, with Cortex Strikes Back, and Warped, number 3. All getting remastered from the ground up from the PlayStation 1 game. It's for the PlayStation 4.
Oh.
That's exciting.
Oh.
That's really awesome.
I can't wait.
So hopefully those turn out well. I don't know how exactly you can build those games from the ground up, but we'll see. Yeah. I wonder what they're going to be, but, anyway. And then... I love this man so much.
It was so funny, because they just drop down the curtain, and then they make this epic.
You hear Mad Max music start going on. Fucking Mad Max music
Start happening, and then the guy walks out. He's like, "We have a little friend for you we're doing today."
Mr. Hideo Kojima.
And he just come out, and he's like, "Hello."
Mad Max music.
Hello.
And once the music cuts, after he walks down this long ass staircase, gets on the mic and goes, "I'm back." And it's just like, you fucking piece of shit. I love you, Hideo. You just go and make your game now. Just go make your game. I don't give a fuck now. You're here. I'm excited. Go do your shit. Just go. Before we get into Death Stranding, the Hideo Kojima project that he's working on, I do want people to understand this game is literally not going to be seen at all until at the earliest
2050.
probably probably 2019, if not real late 2018 if he gets to work real soon, because Death Stranding, the trailer that we saw, was made of one of two engines that Kojima had been playing with lately, that he's trying to pick which one he likes more, basically. And because of that, it's he's trying to figure out what engine he wants to play with. It's people are like, oh, it's gonna come out in 2017, this is the game he's making. It's no, this is literally a concept of a game. This is not a game. This is a trailer that he made. Just to show one of the engines off. So, for those of you that think that this game's coming anytime soon, it's not. This man takes his time with his games. He makes great games, don't get me wrong. He makes amazing games, but he takes his fucking time. So, earliest probably late 2018 to mid 2019 at the earliest. Reasonably, probably realistically 2020. It's a ways away. It's at least 4 to 5 years away, I'd say. But that being said, really fucking awesome looking engine.
Yeah.
Crazy looking trailer. Par for the course for Mr. Kojima. And, he's got Mr. Norman.
A man
Reed.
had an abortion.
He's got
That's
Mr.
a first.
He's got Mr. Norman Reedus back with him after doing the PT shit. So that's positive though, because I think they're a really cool duo. I really hope that once he picks his engine, he gets Del Toro back in with him, and they work on a project again together like they're supposed to do for PT. The dream team back together. That'd be fucking gorgeous. Because Del Toro's already said, he's like, I don't want to make games anymore, except if it's with Kojima. And it's just like, well, he's doing stuff now, so
Time to do.
time to do. But I don't know. I mean, I'm rambling all this time about Kojima, but I mean, what did you think of the Death Stranding trailer?
I mean, it really made me kind of make
What?
like a what face like the whole time. I'm like, what? It kind of okay. Hey, people who played Bloodborne DLC and the Orphan of Kos.
Orphan of Kos? When you first walk out there, it's like, oh.
Literally
what?
reminds me of that. Just scenery.
When it come out of
and that
his
scenery.
mom and just
Honestly.
like, what?
Just that whole scene.
Kind of. Actually, you know what? Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it really reminded me of that whole place.
I mean, there's some theories about like what the trailer's supposed to represent, like Kojima's like breakaway from Konami and like his baby is Metal Gear Solid that he can't really touch anymore, and it disappeared from his life, but still is like guiding him and shit. Like there's like so much like subliminal stuff that people are like picking up and putting together the pieces in terms of like his necklace with all the metal things on it, like symbolizing all the games he's worked on and shit like that. It's just like all the like the 5 pillars being like I think a representation for Konami or something. It's like y'all need to get a life. This shit, like I thought I didn't have a life. No, you guys have no life. Analyzing to the fucking bare bone a trailer for a game that's not even a game. It's a trailer just to show an engine off. It's an engine reveal, which is it's not a thing.
Yeah.
But it is with Konami or not Konami, Kojima.
Also, then you had like these 5 like
floating
dudes like.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're just floating there. Yeah, they look like the.
It's like.
They look like the. I know you never played.
Fuck?
I know you never played Metal Gear Solid 3, but they look like the guys in like those little like hover things in Metal Gear Solid 3. The I know some people out there might know it. The woo 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 in Metal Gear Solid 3. They look like that. So then I know you're disappointed with this next one.
Oh man.
You're projecting. This was your prediction at the end of the show, or at some point.
It so bad.
No Last of Us 2.
I was waiting for it. I was like, come on, just do it. Make me happy.
No Last of Us 2.
I cried.
And sadly, I didn't break your heart beforehand because I didn't want to burst your bubble. I wanted you to believe, but sadly,
I believed.
Oh no, I know you did. The thing is for those of you that don't know why The Last of Us 2 wasn't announced or shown off or even hinted at or whatever, it's because literally the development for The Last of Us, the reason why it was teased when Uncharted 3 was already out, like the following E3, because Uncharted 3 came out then pretty much like 3 months later, Naughty Dog did a teaser reveal for The Last of Us. And then when The Last of Us pretty much was done for the PS4 and everything, they did the teaser trailer for Uncharted 4. And then that all happened. So that it's like the boom 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 principle. Everyone was kind of assuming but everyone kind of assumed that would happen again with The Last of Us 2. The thing is though is that The Last of Us, Uncharted 3, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4 all had at the time 2 different teams. Uncharted 3 is being made by Amy Hennig and her squad, whereas Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann were both working on The Last of Us. So 2 different teams. Once Uncharted 3 was done, they pretty much moved over and started working on Uncharted 4 while Neil and Bruce were finishing up The Last of Us. Once they were finished with The Last of Us, Amy and her team were pretty much starting to get along with Uncharted 4, and that's when the trailer came out, the teaser trailer, for what at the time was Uncharted 4, right? But then a bunch of shit happened, and essentially Amy was kind of... A lot of shit happened that I don't even really know exactly what happened, nor do I have the privilege of really saying anything about it. All I know is that some shit went down, and Amy left Naughty Dog. Bruce and Neil pretty much scrapped some of the pieces of what Amy was working on and pretty much rebuilt most of Uncharted 4 from the ground up, which is why I got pushed back another year. They took a lot of the ideas and principles and concepts of like the pirate, Sam, and a lot of the pieces and put it together, but they put it into different ways and probably changed up who Sam was as a character, changed what the story was, added some new people, things like that. So I think fundamentally they changed a lot of it because, and the rumor is Amy got pushed out because Neil and Bruce had a better story, and she probably felt that they were pushing her out, which might have been, but I don't know. No one really knows what exactly happened. No one's really saying anything. So then when Uncharted 4 happened, it was only one team now. That one team is still working on Uncharted 4 DLC and maps, and not DLC in terms of story mode, but maps and multiplayer and all that shit. So they probably won't begin The Last of Us 2 until probably later this year. So I think at next E3, they might already have begun working on it. It's just not like the biggest project. They're still finishing up some Uncharted 4 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably like they're gonna have a few people continue to work on it, whereas most of the team has probably moved on to Last of Us 2. So we might see something next year, if not at the end of the year. But I wouldn't put too many eggs in that basket. That being said, it still sucks. I completely feel your pain because The Last of Us was amazing. It sucks, but we'll see it. It's gonna be a thing. Whatever Naughty Dog does next is gonna be amazing. No matter what, it might even be Last of Us 2. They might do something else in the meantime, like Jack and Daxter. Probably not. I actually don't want them to do another Jack and Daxter. I want Sanzu to do it, but that's not my opinion. So, what we got left?
Lastly,
We got that Neo.
yeah.
The Neo. You see, I love the Scorpio. I do. Like, I think it has a very sticky situation. I think Microsoft truly needs to declare the Neo, or not the Neo, the Scorpio as the next Xbox. Not an Xbox One upgrade or anything. They just need to declare it is Xbox One compatible, it's backwards compatible and all that shit. But it is the next Xbox. There is no... It's not the Xbox One Scorpio. It's an Xbox Scorpio. It's the next step.
Yep.
They can't do this half-measure bullshit, which is exactly what PlayStation is doing. The Neo, unless, and I have actually thought about this recently, I'm going to spin it here in a little bit, but the Neo is essentially like, it's a little more powerful than the PlayStation 4 typically is, but the thing about it is that it's not going to make your games run much better. It's not going to be better frame rates or anything. It's going to have a better processor, so it just runs better. Essentially, it's a better functioning PS4. It doesn't really do much better for your gaming experience overall. Besides the one caveat, the PS or the 4K capabilities. So I mean, the PlayStation 4K or the PlayStation Neo or whatever it is. I mean, it's not like a huge step forward for the PlayStation. It's not like the Scorpio where it's like a huge step forward and almost like a next gen console. This isn't really a next gen console. So, the thing about it that bothers me about the Neo, the more I think about it, is unlike before where I was under the impression it's going to actually do some things like better, and that was like the problem because it's going to be a higher end, better functioning PS4 and it's going to run games better. From what it sounds like now, it's not going to really run games better. It's just going to be a better functioning PS4. So, I don't know, it's weird. The Neo is in a very weird spot, and I think at this point, PlayStation needs to double down the fact that maybe they should go in the direction of basically making the Neo into the Slim. So, for example, the Xbox One Slim, it can do 4K streaming, and it has like higher end output for gaming, right? And it's also a little bit smaller and just runs a little better and stuff like that. That sounds a little bit familiar to kind of what the PlayStation 4K is trying to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why should they just make it go that route with this? Don't even try and call it like, oh, it's a high-end PlayStation 4. Just go, this is a new version of the PlayStation 4. It's the slim model. The difference is that it can do 4K. And then people are going to go, well, is it like the PlayStation Slim or the Xbox One Slim? Be like, kind of. It does 4K streaming, but also does 4K output for gaming. So it does what the Xbox One does in pretty much every category, except it is performance-wise a little better still, and it can do 4K gaming.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should be. So if PlayStation you're watching this, make your PlayStation 4K or the 4K Neo, or whatever the fuck it is, make it the Slim. Don't try and sell this as a higher end PlayStation 4 just because it has 4K capabilities. That's not what you should be doing, in my opinion. But whatever. And the reason why I'm bringing this all up is because I know you don't probably know this. Supposedly, the rumor is it's still supposed to come out before the end of the year.
Yep.
Like, it's still coming out this year. It's still coming this year. It's supposed to come, like, in October or November, maybe even December. And if they're, I don't know. It's weird. Unless they plan on, like, overhauling it real quickly, which I doubt they will. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like Scorpio right now is in a better position in terms of marketing because I think if Phil Spencer does the right moves and just announces it as a new Xbox and just go, and compares it to the Xbox 360 launch, I think people will kind of go, oh, I guess it has been 4 years, hasn't it? Since I guess I could get Xbox, Scorpio. I don't really, I don't need to wait around, because it's been 4 years. Because right now people are like, the biggest complaint is, time. Like, oh, I've had my Xbox One for 3 years. Why should I get a Scorpio? Well, next year will be 4 years. If you get a really nice trade-in policy for the Xbox Scorpio with your Xbox One, get like $100 off. Drop that bitch down from $600 to $500. That's kind of nice. And then if you bill it as this is the next gen Xbox and it's backwards compatible, meaning you don't have to sell any of your games, there you go. You're good to go. But I don't know. This whole mid-level upgrade path bullshit is just really confusing. I'm not sure what either of these companies are doing. No idea.
Yep, I agree.
Like, I think the Neo's in a worse position than, and that's even more infuriating for me because it's like, the PlayStation's in front, they're in the driver's seat. Like, it makes sense that Microsoft has to rebrand from the Xbox One to Scorpio because the Xbox One is being outsold 2-1 just about, if not 2-1, by PlayStation. They need a rebranding. PlayStation doesn't have to do this weird mid-level jump. They don't have to do what the Scorpio's doing. They should do a Slim and then run the rest of the fucking generation out and work on the PlayStation 5 and make that some bitch basically more powerful than the Scorpio. But whatever. We'll see how things go. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Anything we missed? I can't think of anything.
I think we nailed it all.
Nailed it all? Well, that's pretty much our last minute coverage of the PlayStation conference and the Xbox conference. I might do a video going more in depth on the Scorpio and the Neo. I doubt it because, right now there's not enough information, but we'll see. And if any other news comes out from E3 in terms of any of the other games that we don't know much about, we'll let you know. We'll put up another video. So, please, you guys have a great day.
Thank you for making it this far.
Yeah,
You watched the
seriously,
whole
thank
damn
you.
thing.
This is basically a podcast.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Good guy.
Makes me wet. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check back the content, or more content just like this. Well, maybe not just like this. This is going to be a special feature, but check back the channel for more shit, such as gaming stuff, let's plays, all that happy stuff. Kyle's currently going to be playing Grand Theft Auto soon, so that should be fun.
Yeet.
And we will see you guys later.
Peace.